Alrighty folks, so I just finished watching the first episode of Netflix's new limited series Night Stalker. The first episode is titled Devil in the City of Angels. Very creative title, I like it. Now this first episode takes you to the investigators of it, Gil Carrillo, I believe the name is, and Frank Salerno. It kind of goes deep into their relationship and how they came to be partners and how they teamed up to solve this crime. Some people with Netflix are like, oh, it doesn't really have much on it, but I'll tell you what, if you are sick and love these serial killer type documentaries, then they got you covered because they just pump these out like nobody's business. And again, with these Netflix documentary serial killer type things, they always do a great job of the editing and the music. It's just very atmospheric. They just do a great job. I don't know, it's very intriguing, and they do a really good job of kind of pulling you into this world, and they kind of do a really good job of pulling you into these stories and really wanting you to keep watching. And it's good. It's like, but then you realize it's 4 episodes and you're like, oh, I wanted more. Now this is called The Night Stalker, The Hunt for a Serial Killer. It's basically going after this guy, Richard Ramirez. When you watch these documentaries that Netflix does, you're like, okay, this person is the sickest person I've ever seen, and then the next one they do, they just top it, because these people are like some of the sickest of the sick. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of insane, but these people just take it to a whole new level. And of course it starts out in typical fashion. He ends up killing a woman, shooting her in the kitchen, and he tries to kill her roommate as well, but the bullet somehow deflects off of, like, I forget what it was, like one of her keys, I believe it was. And of course, when you do see a serial killer documentary, you're like, oh god, here it's going to be another guy that is obsessed with killing women because they have some kind of mommy issues, or I don't know, some kind of hatred for women. Usually that's kind of what it is. They're sick in the head and they have some kind of issue with women. And of course later in the documentary it goes on, he doesn't just kill women, he kills couples too, so he's got that added to his resume. But also I think the one thing that led me to believe that this guy was just his brain was just gonzo. He was just sick in the head, and how he has survived in the world to this point without somebody being like, you need to get locked up, bud, is that the woman that he shot and didn't kill because the bullet deflected off of her key, he did not finish the job. And it's not like, okay, a normal person, they kill someone, they're like, okay, it's time to run away before the cops get here. But this dude said, I'm just going to put my pistol to my side, and then he walked away just like a leisurely stroll through the neighborhood. That was the one indicator. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Now the Gil Carrillo guy, who was one of the investigators, he was kind of a young guy and they didn't really take him seriously. He was connecting the murders of these women to other crimes in the area, and he was kind of laughed off, but he ended up at the end of this episode being right. And it's not enough that he was killing adults and women, he also was sexually assaulting children, and it was like, oh god, here we go. You know it had to get worse. It couldn't just be this simple. He couldn't just be a murderer. But he never ended up killing the children. What he would do is just drop them off, have them call 911, and that was that. So I don't know, I guess he has some moral obligation to killing children. Out of all the things this dude's doing, it's like, okay, that's his one thing he can't do. He morally objects to it. So there was some of the children that he had assaulted on the documentary, and they gave their testimonies, and it was pretty emotional. And he also did some weird stuff, like he would obviously kill the people, but he cut a woman's eyes out, I don't know, for looking at him, I guess, and identifying him, but it's like, you know, bro, she's dead. I don't know what he thinks she has the possibility to do, turn him in, no idea. But he took her eyeballs for some reason. Of course, these guys have these weird fetishes, so who knows what he was doing with her eyeballs, or maybe he just got rid of them, but I don't know. It was weird. Out of all the people, he just killed them and said, all right, goodbye. But this woman, he was like transfixed on her eyes. I don't know. It was very odd to me, that part of the documentary. Then at the end, they kind of got you with a little bit of a rope-a-dope, because they found a guy, and he was identified. They went to his house. They had a lot of evidence. He had all kinds of magazine covers of women cut out. He had women's clothing that he cut up. He had the members only jacket that they've seen with this guy. The description was very good, but it turned out it wasn't the guy, so that was unfortunate. But you knew there was 4 episodes for this series, so they're not going to solve it on the first episode. But I will say this first episode did really rope me in, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm definitely, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm about to watch the second episode and hopefully get through this one in one day. I wonder why it is that everyone in the world is obsessed with these serial killer documentaries. I don't know, maybe it's Netflix. They're just very good at the way they put these things together. But yeah, that's going to do it for my babbling. If you have any thoughts on this, leave it in the comments below. And that will do it for this video. Peace out.